let's get started. So, one day after the Great Ninja War, Christian would go to Kakashi and tell him about something important. Kakashi would say, he would walk into the office and say, Sixth? He'd say, yes. What's up? We still have forgotten something. He says, what have we forgotten? Anko. She's still captured with Kabuto. He goes, oh no. We all forgot about it because over the victory. He says, please, let Team 12 go after her. Let us three, it's our sensei. We must go. He says, alright, gather Izumi and Izuna. Christian body flickers out and says, Izuna, come on. Izumi, come on. He takes them both to the Hokage, and then they say, what's going on? He says, do you not remember? Someone is missing. They say, Anko's missing. Yeah. After everyone got so caught up with the Great Ninja War ending, they were like, no one really cared. Which is kind of sad, which is kind of rude, which I'm kind of mad about. He says, whatever, we'll just get on. Let's just get on with the mission. Let's go. I know where Kabuto is. He says, where? He said, he says, Kabuto never died. He's still alive. He's inside of his base. We're busting and we're getting her. And I'm killing Kabuto for that. For causing havoc on the shinobi world. He says, alright. They immediately blitz out of the village without talking to Naruto, Sakura, or anyone actually. They just blitz out of the village saying, doo. So when they find Kabuto's base, Christian says, we're gonna need something to bust down this wall. He says, Chidori! And it does nothing, it just pierces it back off. He's like, alright guys, how about our special combo attack? How about Fang over rotation? Lightning style Fang over rotation. He says, they go, wait a minute, we have to think of something else. How about this? Ultimate Susanoo. He says, wait a minute guys. Hey, Izumi, do you have the power to make weapons bigger at all? She says, I actually can. I can make weapons like 20 times bigger. And they actually are. Chris says, good. And I'm gonna need you, Izuna, to put a chakra all around it. All around my blade. He pulls it out and says, alright, enhance it. She says, what are you gonna do? He says, just do it. She creates like 30 times bigger. He says, let's go! Summoning Jutsu! Go! 11 tails! He says, yo kid, what's going on? We have to bust through the space. Here's a giant sword. And basically I'm representing Zacian, legendary Pokemon from Pokemon, of course. He puts it in his mouth and then he says, alright, add chakra to it now, Izuna. Izuna adds so much chakra to it. And then he says, use this move called Behemoth Blade. It can break through anything. He makes the sword glow, and then he jumps up in the air and slices through Kabuto's base. Kabuto's like, what? Christian says, thank you, and absorbs him into his bot and puts him back into the seal. He says, let's go. They say, Kabuto! And they don't see Anko, they see Anko in the corner, being knocked out still. Then they see Orochimaru there too. He's like, oh, what are you three gonna do? Christian with the kunai already into Orochimaru's stomach saying, you're not going anywhere, you're not gonna do nothing. And then he says, hey, do you know how to return them back to my sword back to size? She says, after my chakra runs low. He says, dang it! Fire style, fireball! Creating a ginormous fireball, collapsing on Orochimaru, then saying, and then he slams Orochimaru down, saying, here we go, brand new attack I've thought of. Eat this, Susanoo. He says, Susanoo blade barrage, and pulls out both of the swords. And once he does, he pulls out his swords, and then drops him right back in. And immediately Orochimaru's cut into 1,000,000 pieces. But somehow it's a clone. Orochimaru goes into his full power. But then Kabuto starts to reanimate someone. They don't know who he's reanimating, but they have to stop him. Izuno's about to close off his chakra point, but then Orochimaru's clone comes and kicks him away. Christian would catch Izuno and say, "Let's go! Wind style, Gale Palm!" Sending Izuno flying, saying, "Achoo!" And then out of nowhere, Kabuto's finished with bringing someone back. He's like, "No! No, 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 not him! Not him!" Out of everyone he brings the worst of them all. He brings back Madara Uchiha again. He's like, "No, not again! He's back again! We are gonna have some serious trouble!" Madara would activate his 6-pass mode saying, "Ha!" Saying, "Your team is dead! Your entire lives are dead! Then I'll rule over the shinobi world." Curtin says, "Alright guys, looks like it's time." He says, they say, "Time for what?" He says, "Time for the end of our team, with a final attack from all of us." They say, they both agree, they all agree. And then he says, "What would happen if 2 of your teammates die? Alright, Izumi." He says, "Alright, Christian, what would you do if what did you do if let's see, Izuno was about to kill himself? What would you do?" He'd say, "Well, I got one thing that we'd do. We would stick together, and we'd all go down. If one of us goes down, we all go out." And then he activates his full Ultimagon force. And he goes, "Ah!" And they say, "Let's go!" And unleashing themselves saying, "Let's go!" Now they do their own fights. Izuno would fight Orochimaru. Izumi would fight Kabuto, which is a pretty even match, but Izumi's way stronger than him because it's Kabuto, he's pretty trash. And Christian versus Madara saying, "Let's go!" And then he'd say, "Hey! I don't got a name for him. I actually don't have a name. I don't got it. I'm just gonna call him, you know what? His name's Dusk." He says, "Yo, Dusk, you ready?" He says, "Yeah, I'm ready." He says, "Ah!" and goes into 6-pass Ultimagon. He said, I'm kidding, he doesn't summon him. He doesn't even have him anymore. He says, "Ah!" and pulls out a true seeking orb, and they clash. He says, "Limbo." Now these two would clash for hours on hours, and Kakashi's like, why haven't they returned? This should have been an easy mission. Everyone is damaged so hard. It's like super damaged. Like, basically they're all on the verge of death, basically. Madara's already dead, but he somehow got off the Rene rebirth, no one knows how. So basically, everyone's on the verge of death. And I mean everyone, like Orochimaru, Christian is somehow on the verge of death. Everyone is. Everyone in that fight. He says, "Orochimaru, Madara Uchiha, I have a plan to defeat them. But we're gonna need a combined attack to defeat them." He says, "I will not do such petty." He says, "Just do it. If we want to exterminate them, we will have to kill them. And for that, we need full cooperation." He says, "What?" They charge up their final attack, a fire-style Great Snake Breach. Christian thing would say, "Alright guys, let's go." He puts his hand out and says, "Rasengan!" and creates a Rasengan. Then he says, "Come on guys, let's add our the last of our chakra to it, and let's end him." And then he also pulls out a kunai, a flying Raijin kunai, says, "Let's go." let's go. So they'd all put in their chakra into the fullest of their chakra, making it humongous. And then he says, "This is Team 12's Ultimate Supreme Rasengan." And then, so when they rush, they're like, "Ah!" And then they say, "Ultimate Supreme." Christian says, "Flying Raijin!" Ah! And throws the kunai. They all dodge, and he's like, "Let's." And they say, "Wait." When the fire orb thingy is about to connect, they teleport up and they say, "Ultimate Supreme Rasengan!" Ramming into all three of them, saying, "Ah!" Christian saying, "Eat this, Amaterasu!" Adding more fire into it, burning them even more, saying, "Die!" Absolutely bodying him, saying, "Die!" So then they would use more full force. When Naruto, out of nowhere, Kakashi hears, like all 5 great nations, feel a giant explosion. They hear a like the entire world shakes from that attack. He sees that they're gone, they're out of existence, and they all fall to the ground, and that's it. They have all they've all died, is what they're all seemingly dead. When Kakashi sends out a team, Naruto, Sakura, and Sai, and also the entire rookie 12 Horizon, Naruto, Sakura, and the rest of them are like, "No, they can't be dead. There's no way. There's no way." Then Sakura feels a tiny bit of a pulse. She's like, "There's a pulse, but it's faint." He's like, "Alright, we have to take them quickly." So basically, when they do that, they take them immediately to the hospital. And after a week, they still don't wake up. They're like, "Sakura, are you sure there was a pulse?" She says, "I'm sure there's definitely a little bit of a pulse in all of them." Come on! After they wait another week, they still haven't waken up. They're like, "They're probably dead." Put them in a grave. So when they put them in the grave, that's it. They're all dead. Seemingly, people. Seemingly. So the last what happened and all that crap, pretty normal, because Christian, Izumi, and Izuna aren't there. So, one day, during then, Christian, Izuna, and Izumi would meet the Sage of Six Paths, happy for their saddened by their sacrifice, but saying that he can offer them about 5 years of training to come back to the Leaf Village after. He will train them for 5 years straight so they can be invincibly strong. He wants them to protect the shinobi world. They agree to this. He says, but then the training actually turns out to be about 10 years. 10 years, my guys. 10 years. So after a while, everything would go pretty normal in the Boruto story until the tuning exams. Everything would go normal to the final round. After Boruto cheats, after Uzumaki Boruto cheats and Momoshiki arrives, Naruto would sacrifice himself in the village when all he does is really just get teleported there. When Sasuke brings his team, that goes pretty normal, but then the fight goes different. When Momoshiki is about to destroy every one of the Kage, a portal opens. Naruto, Sasuke, Boruto, and the 4 Kage are all like, "What the heck is that?" Naruto sees 3 familiar faces walk out. Christian with his newly implanted Rinnegan. and the eternal Mangekyo Ultimagon. Izuna with his full-powered Tenseigan. Now I don't really know what to give the Inuzuka clan, but I'm just gonna say she gets a some kind of form that makes her more dog-like. Maybe like some chakra cloak, something that makes her look like more like a... You know how what's her name? Masami has a, like, cat cloak thing? She has a dog cloak. So, when they arrive, Naruto goes, "You're actually alive! How?" They say, "No time for this. Let's go, everyone." They all bump fist, and they all disappear. They're like, "What the? Where'd they go?" Momoshiki feels a fist to the face, sending them flying into a wall, and he says, "Now, Izuna!" Izuna would say, "Tenseigan Chakra Mode!" and start beating down on Momoshiki. Christian would say, "Sixth Pass!" Sage of the Sixth Pass, Eternal Mangekyo! Eternal Mangekyo Ultimate God! Sage of the Sixth Pass! And pulls out a true-seeking sword, slicing through Momoshiki, but Momoshiki would actually dodge. Christian would say, "Izuna, now! Hit me! With all your force!" He'd say, "What are you..." And he says, "Trust it!" He says, "Tenseigan Orb! Blast!" He says, "What an idiot! Putting your teammate there." Naruto says, "What are you doing attacking yourself?" He says, but then when he throws the attack, Christian says, "Heavenly Hand Power!" And switches places with Momoshiki. Momoshiki getting hit by the giant orb, sending him flying into the wall thingy, like the tree things. Then they say, "Let's go!" Christian would say, "Here we go, full force Susanoo!" Ah! He'd go and say, "Alright everyone, let's go!" She'd go into her full giant wolf state, where she's got like gray chakra all around her that's like, Izumi has that. Izuna transforms into a giant Tenseigan beast thingy. Christian says, "Let's all combine our chakra." They all combine and say, "This is 10 Ultima Wolf Mode." 10 Ultima Wolf Mode. It's glowing a purple color, saying, "Let's go, everyone!" So they all run, they start clashing with Momoshiki's thing, but then they finally beat his little ape monster, going, "Ah, slamming, and then once they revert back, they go, "Let's teach him a lesson." And then he'd say, "Let's go with our ultimate move." He puts out his hand and says, "Rasengan." He says, "Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara, Kurotsuchi, Darui, and Chojuro, everyone, get over here. Let's do the ultimate Supreme Rasengan, Flying Raging style." They do it, and the Rasengan is bigger than the entire world. He says, "Boruto, do it." So Boruto would say, "I'm not ready." He says, "You are." He gives him the Rasengan. He says, "Geez, this is so heavy." He says, "Use your chakra to lift it." He puts it right. He says, "I don't feel like losing." And then, when he slams it into Momoshiki, Momoshiki slams it right back with the giant ones. He says, "Quickly, Izuna, let's go." They go and push it forward. They're like, "Ah!" Kish would say, "I got this." "Ah, Flying Raging." Appear right behind him and say, "Chidori!" Piercing right through him, and then ripping it out, and then kicking him right into the Rasengan, saying, "Batch!" And then he'd he'd say, "Eat this! Fireball also!" Incinerating him into the Rasengan. And then he'd say, "That's the power of Shinobi." Christian would say, Naruto would say, "Hey Christian, how come you look younger than everyone else here?" He says, "Oh, I'm an Ultima. Ultima clan members don't age that long. Literally, the elder of my clan looks like he's 40, even though he's legit like 100 almost." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how we keep ourselves at the strongest clan. I have unlocked Rinnegan. I'm pretty overpowered. He says, whatever, let's go. So they all head back, and Sakura, Hinata, Kiba, Shino, all of them are like, what? They're back? They say, yeah, what's up, guys? So when they make it back, they all have a giant party at... Okay, no one's house is that big. They go to barbecue, and they all have a giant party. Here's all the people who are invited. Here are all the kids who are invited. Shikadai, Boruto, Sarada. That's it. Those are the only ones who are in... Oh yeah, Mitsuki too. And Himawari. The kids all go to their section, and the adults go to their section, having so much fun. Now even Boruto, Sarada, and Thing mention, hey, does that guy kind of look way younger than he's supposed to? Does that guy look way younger than he's supposed to be? They go, yeah, pretty sure my dad told him. Sarda says, yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad told me that. He ages way less. He goes, cool, I wish I could do that. He says, Sarda says, that's the best way for them to be in the best clan, even though my dad still thinks the Uchiha is the best, which I agree with. And he says, alright, whatever. He says, whatever. Saying, and then Konohamaru, so Konohamaru wouldn't actually be their sensei. That'd actually be sensei-less, because Naruto wouldn't be friends with Konohamaru in this timeline. Because, well, why would he? So, Shino says, we need a new squad leader for Team 7. They never had one. It's just been them going on missions with other squad leaders. Christian says, I'll be one. They say, you will? He says, sure, I'm bored. I got nothing else to do. I'll probably live longer than everyone else here, so might as well teach the newer generation. They go, hey, you'll never... He says, what? Just stating facts. I age way less than you guys. I am legit 30. I'm kidding, I'm not 30. I'm like 25 right now, and I look like I literally look like I'm 18, like I'm not even 18. I look like I'm 20. I don't even look that old. That's not me in real life, just saying. I am in real life, I'm like 11. So I like to do this kind of crap. So, basically, after that, the village would live in peace for a while, with the best squad, Christian saying, hey Naruto, you ever wondered which squad is the best? Saying, no. Like saying no to the chart. He says, probably Team 7. He says, nah, probably Team 12. We got training from the Sage's 6 Pass for about 10 years. He says, 10 years? God! Whatever, we're still stronger. He says, wanna test that theory? Team 7 versus Team 12? Sure. Then Sarada, Mitsuki, and Boruto say, hey, we're the new Team 7. He says, they all just chuckle and say, haha. That's funny. He says, well, this is a fight for us since you guys are kids and we don't want kids fighting. So Christian says, alright Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, you ready? So they all 6 of them jump up there and clash their fists. Saying, while they're fighting, Naruto says, hey, where did you guys actually go? Christian said, to a random dimension with the Sage's 6 Pass, and we just trained there for years to get strong enough. Why do you think we destroyed Momoshiki? Why do you think every single was planet-sized? After we defeated Kabuto and basically killed ourselves, which we did actually, from using an ultimate Supreme Rasengan, basically killing ourselves with all of our chakra. So yeah. There will be a couple more parts of this, probably like 2 or something. No more remastered. That was it for this part. See you guys.